The sun is not really shining on the transport industry, particularly the side tipper market and in the commodities arena. Albrich, I know you went through a bit of a patch, a hard shock when the Minister of Transport cancelled the permits on PBS, a really silly decision that was reversed after a while. But now we have a drop in the commodities market. Coal price is down. A lot of transporters are parking trucks, parking trailers. How are you finding the market? You described just now, just in a chat, that this is worse than the COVID market.
Thank you for the opportunity. Yeah, this is definitely worse than COVID. This is the worst we've experienced the market, especially in the tipper industry. The previous crash we had, as we call it, the stock market crash we had in our industry was in 2009. And the difference between 2009 and now is actually the volumes and the numbers. Because the industry at that stage was only 30% of the size that it is now. And the numbers, I mean, a new trailer at that stage was around about 300K, where a new trailer is now R1 million. So the numbers and the volumes have increased that it makes it a massive problem, because I mean we're just dealing with a huge amount of money that's standing around, and it's almost as if the circulation of cash just stopped immediately. And it actually started in September last year when I think we never realized how soft our order books were, and the orders just declined, and that's all because of the commodity prices. The commodity price, and there's the first time in that I know of that all the commodities went bang, all the prices went bang simultaneously. But it's already starting to turn. We've seen the turn in the market. The RFQs are going out there. The coal price, I mean, we're working on API 4 index, that is FOB Richards Bay for RB1. And then you deduct about $6 to get to what our guys get in their pockets. Because for the miners, around about $100 is when they start making money, $100 a ton on RB3s. So that's getting over that threshold. The forecast for Q1, 2 and 325 looks set to be positive. So I think we're through the brunt of this. The problem we're sitting with is the 6-month vacuum that there was, and I think there's a lot of transporters that's going to battle to get through this and recuperate and try and recover. And I mean, it's very cash flow intensive to get these vehicles back on the road, and I think that's where the real challenge is going to lie from here on forward.
Not a pretty picture, and I must say though that the trucking industry came to the rescue of South Africa in the absence of rail, and that is where a lot of the trucks on the road that we've seen catering to the commodity boom that was at one stage, now no longer. The coal price is right down, as you say, but thank goodness for the trucks, because they actually saved South Africa billions in foreign earnings, where the rail, due to the mismanagement of rail, port, everything, due to the collapse of everything, the trucks came to the rescue, but it was a short-term rescue that is now having a bit of an adverse impact on those who got involved.
Yes, Patrick, I mean, you know the famous saying that we always say, without trucks, South Africa stops. I mean, we need trucking in South Africa. We haven't got, the government is not able to provide us with a rail system that's sufficient for what we do. With all our commodities we have, I mean, we should be a thriving country, but our infrastructure doesn't allow for it. I mean, rail is so much cheaper, but I mean, they're promising us that rail's going to be fixed. It's not going to be fixed, not in our lifetime, because now they're promising us that, or they're putting figures out there that rail is now a much bigger percentage of the coal being hauled, etc. It's purely because the volumes dropped and the rail stayed the same. I mean, the trucks are still going to be an integral part of getting our commodities to ports, and we need our ports to be functional and our rail to be functional and our trucks to be functional in order to get all these commodities out there. We need the foreign valuta. We need that income for South Africa, and we can't do it without trucks.
Yep. Absolutely agree, and I think if when that showed was during COVID, when the trucks were the only ones that were rolling, keeping the country supplied, the people supplied, where everything else was in lockdown. That's when the supply chain truly came in its own, and also after that the commodities. It's bad news. A lot of companies are parking their trucks, parking their trailers. Is that going to put a flood of used trailers onto the market and affect your new sales?
Yes, definitely it's going to have an effect on the new sales. Your newcomers in the industry, who in the post-COVID boom, what we call, were able to buy new, are going to buy a 2-year-old or a 1-year-old or a 18-month-old trailer now for a very good price or a fraction of a new one. So that's going to be a 12 to 18 month cycle to get that all worked into the system again, and then we're going to back to the normal. You must remember, we were in an abnormal market. We were in a 16,000 truck market last year. Our country is not a 16,000 truck market. We're a 12,000 truck market. So once we get back to that, and I mean, so that's why I say if we get back to 60% of what we were last year, that's a normal market.
Okay.
And the market will consume that. And there's with the rand weakening, there's always your exports. So there's a lot of units going out of the country, and that also gets eats up that excess amount of vehicles getting into the market quite quickly. So I think we're in for a 12-month period where the used truck and used trailer prices are going to be under pressure, and then it should stabilize again, and the law of averages always wins, and then we're going to be there because we're already on the upcycle. I'm excited. It's been a tough 6 months. As I said, it wasn't easy, but it wasn't easy for anyone. And it's just we had 3 good years. Now the market has done a reset. Luckily, if you were prepared and you were ready and you had a strong business that you looked after in the good years, you'll get through this. And I think it's just another lesson learned that, I mean, a market can change in the blink of an eye without all of us noticing it, and then we're in a total new market again. The thing is to adapt to stay alive.
Yeah. Adapt to stay alive. And the last question I'm going to ask you, what worries me is that because of the boom, a lot of SMMEs got involved in the commodities market. They went out and they bought, I remember one guy bought a whole rig, side tipper trailers, everything, MAN truck tractor for 400,000 Rand. By the way, he was sitting on the side of the road, no brakes on the axles or anything. He had lost every single penny. A lot of them are going to be hurt during this. And I spoke to the managing director of a large company that is very big in the coal haulage. He said it's time for a reset. And you've mentioned that a reset. Now, what I also see here is the resilience of the truck market, the people in the trucking market. Whereas it looks like absolute disaster out there, it is in certain senses, and for some people, but there's still positivity. And the trucking industry is always have people like Albrich to support every sector of the economy. As I say, without trucks, South Africa stops. Trucking industry is here for you. Trucking industry up for the country, always has been Albrich, and always will be. But let's get the government sector off the butts and get that thing moving. It can be done. We're going to compare May 2024 with September 2024. Last time we spoke was at NAMPO. Correct. And you said it was worse than COVID. And you went back to as far back as 2009, the international recession, which I call the bankers' heist. Yes. It wasn't only VBS, that was the bankers who messed up the world that time. They do that quite commonly. They quite have a habit of doing that. But it was really torrid conditions. The guys were parking off trucks, and I'm talking hundreds of trucks. You felt it in your production line, in the order book went down. May 2024 was the eye of a storm. Are we still in the eye of a storm? Have we moved out of it?
We'd like to think that we are we are over the worst part of the storm. But we had some false highs. We had production that was halted. We had guys on short time, as you heard. And then we started running into production and going into production and getting the guys there. But your order book is so weak. I mean, we're sitting with now the guys that had that took payment holidays on their vehicles, etc., and that makes them unfinanceable for the next 6 months, 6 to 12 months, depending on the financial institution. So that takes that customer out of the equation for basically the next 6 to 12 months. So we're sitting with a margin of customers that's gone, that's not in the equation anymore.
Gone forever?
No, not necessarily, but for this period where we are resetting, or supposedly should be in the reset for the market, they're not able to participate in that. And the knock-on effect of that was that we're sitting now where the storm has subsided, but we're in the backlash now.
Okay.
So it's still a long way to go. We cautiously thinking Q2 2025, we should be back in a normal market. And when I say normal market, I mean pre-2020 market, where we're in a 12,000 truck market. A 16,000 truck market is too big for our country. We're not a 16,000 truck market. I mean, you know that as good as I do. So I think the norm, it has been reset, and the norm is going to be in Q2 12,000 trucks per annum. I think that's where we're heading for.
So we're looking at 2025 as sort of a start of coming back. Or no, it has started already. But 2025, hopefully volumes will be up again.
It has started, but I mean, we're sitting with overstock used market. The guys have got it's a total buyer's market now. So the guys that's got money can buy 1-year-old, 2-year-old vehicles for a substantial less amount than new vehicles. So you've got numbers. I mean, you can buy 10, 15, 20 of the same units, which in the normal market conditions you can't. You get 1 or 2 you can pick, and that's why the guys had to buy new to get similar vehicles. Yeah. But there's now fleets available for sale. I mean, fleets of 10, 20 defleeted vehicles or repossessed vehicles, which is available immediately. Yeah. So that puts a lot of pressure on the new sales. Yeah. But you still got your guys that traditionally just buys new. So no, it's not. It's not a tea party out there. It's still very tough, but we cautiously positive.
Wonderful. Well, cautiously positive in that type of environment is encouraging and optimistic, which is great. The cause, if I may say, the one cause, I think, was the coal price reduction. And everybody ran into the commodity boom. You must have seen that in new trailer sales. And everyone ran into them. Then they dropped. And that's what caused it. Now, how's the commodity market now? Are you... Okay, the trailers is a very, very good indication of that, because the side tippers, and that's where you are jackpot there. What are you reading? How are you reading the commodity market now?
The commodity market is very, very volatile at this stage. We had now a small run on the manganese, but that was only due to a storm that damaged some of the equipment on Australia's big export line. Right. So the whole supply chain was halted there, and that caused them to move over to South Africa. But being not Africa, they fixed that in 4 months. So all the product just moved back to Australia. So the manganese has collapsed completely. The rates the oaks that has been offered is not viable, and they were under pressure already. So the manganese market is complete. These oaks are now attacking the chrome market with their vehicles. So they're flooding and cutting prices there. And some of them are running back to the coal market. The coal market has improved, but still it's not where it should be, because tariffs are still under pressure. Volumes are still under pressure, although we're getting some volumes through. But I think in a nutshell, it's still tough times out there. It's going to stay tough for quite a while still.
Okay, and that brings me, I often say to people, I gave a talk at an SMME conference, and I said, what you see is big truck, big money. No, that's not what happens. Big truck, big risk, big responsibility, and big cost. And then you get the outside influences that hit on that are unexpected. And so it's not an easy market anymore. And the ANC in 1994 said that transport is, and I quote, the ideal entry point for the former disadvantaged to enter the mainstream economy. You got to know what you're doing now. And what worries me is that the big guys can carry a park off for a while, but there were a whole lot of smaller companies that came into the market. You probably supplied them with trailers, and what's happened to them? What's going to happen to them? Can they survive?
Where we're sitting now, these oaks, all the moratoriums that they've taken is a thing of the past. You can only get so many skip payments. The boats are sold, the helicopters are sold, the houses in Pinnacle Point are sold. So they're really at the point where they've got no more retained, they've got no more hidden away gems that they can turn into cash. And the thing is, that's now all toxic assets because of the economy. So we there at the final step now, and I think the real bloodbath in the finance industry is going to start now, because the guys, all their resources are finished now. So the banks are reporting back to us that the repos are coming in hard and fast now, and I project for the next 6 months is just going to be a horrible experience for the bankers, because they're going to run around and they're going to get vehicles that's been unmaintained, that's been butchered just to keep them on the road, which they have to repossess and then flog them on an auction for next to nothing. Yeah. So that we've seen the movie before, but this one's just going to be of a much bigger magnitude.
The word bloodbath scares me. I thought it was bad before, but there's a bloodbath coming.
Yes, sir. As I said, I mean, with a low being where we used to, a 3-month low is bad in our industry. We had an 8-month low for this one, and we're not through it yet. So it's really bad. And the thing is that the numbers, as I said, we were 12,000 truck market. Now we're 16,000 truck market. So that's 4,000 trucks per annum extra, including we used to pay 1.4, 1.5 million rand for a truck. A truck is now 2.5 bar, and a trailer is R1 million. So exponentially the value of the problem just became bigger and bigger. So it's a massive problem that we're sitting with in monetary terms.
You know, what I'm picking up here is what we've always said, is that trucking is not for the faint-hearted, but it's also not for the unqualified. You can hear the expertise. This man makes trailers. Okay, but he has to read the whole market. He has to read the commodities market. He has to read everything that's going on, the economy, everything. So to enter the trucking market, you've got to know what you're doing. It's not just big truck, big money. So, you know, be careful out there. And the bloodbath still to come. Are you surviving?
Yes. We are.
Or are you growing or surviving? Should I say you're surviving or growing?
At this stage, we say if we're breathing, we're surviving. so no, we're not planning any holidays in the Bahamas soon.
Oh no!
But yes, we're surviving. We're not making money. We've tightened our belts. We're making sure we're cost effective. I mean, in times like these, one always think your business was run lean. Now your business is being run really lean. Now you know that excavator or that loader or that forklift wasn't really necessary. You know, that those luxuries weren't really necessary. But I mean, we were very fortunate. But throwing retained earnings after overheads is bad business. But at the end of the day, if you don't have retains, you can't do it. So it saves you. So is it really bad business? No. At the end of the day, because you're pumping it back. As I said, our biggest challenge this year was to make sure that our staff, our workers has got money to put food on the table. That was our number one concern. Secondly, we need to try and keep rhythm in the factory, because in production, if you don't have rhythm, you're gone. We've fully diversified. We've got the transport, we've got the manufacturing, we've got the used truck business. So we diversified in the whole trucking industry. So we were taking beatings left, right, and center. But the main thing is you need to stay focused, you need to stay positive. You need to be very conservative in growth. You need to be very conservative in spending. And for the next 5-6 months, I say just keep your eye on the ball and try and focus on what you do and do it as lean as possible.
Yeah. I'm a last one. I'm a guy who wants to enter transport. I want to buy 2 trucks. I want to get into commodities. What would you say to me?
Are you buying cash or financing? If it's cash,
I don't go cash.
If it's cash, put your money in the bank. It's safe there.
Okay.
Transport at this stage, no. I wouldn't recommend anyone savings to invest in the trucking industry, especially not now. With times being tough, the culture of non-payment is starting to show its head again. So it's a very difficult time. I mean, even the big operators, the real big operators. I was at one very big company, entrepreneurial transporter the other day, and you could actually sense the negativity. You could actually sense it in the air. I walked out there and I had goosebumps, and I thought, these oaks are really, really getting the brunt of this. And I mean, if you're talking big fleets, you're talking massive overhead structures. I mean, their overhead cost is just immensely high. So to keep that turning is massive amounts of money. So trucking for the faint-hearted, no. As a startup business, get-rich-quick scheme, no, sir. Wrong business.
Take the advice of an expert who's been around a long, long time, who reads the market not only from his own perspective of trailer manufacturing, obviously in survival and growth of his business, but you're operating in an environment, in an economy that is either up or down. And at the moment, you want to come into transport, stay away. Keep your cash in your pocket. And once again, congratulations on a great show that you put on today.
Thank you, Patrick. And I mean, we're all professional transporters now. The business is not just trucking, it's professionals doing it, and it's businesses that are run very professionally, I mean, administered to the T. So transport isn't transport anymore. It's a very, very fine line between profit and loss. So you need to manage the business professionally and very tight. So it's a very cutthroat business at this stage.
Please take it seriously, and on that note, be professional. Watch out for the knife that's going to cut your throat, and if you see it coming, don't go near it. Thank you, Albrich. Thanks so much. God bless you.
Same.